Welcome once again to our commerce classroom. In this session, we will discuss about overheads. Overheads are also known as on cost or burden. Overhead is defined as the aggregate of indirect material cost, indirect labor cost, and indirect expenses. This is what the definition given by ICMA London for overhead. I repeat it. Overhead is defined as the aggregate of indirect material cost, indirect labor cost, and indirect expenses. Then we see what are the features of overhead. We know overheads are indirect costs. Secondly, overheads cannot be identified with any particular cost center or cost unit. Third feature, they are apportioned and charged to different cost centers or cost units. Fourth feature, they are the total of indirect material, indirect wages, and indirect expenses. And the last feature of overhead is this: they are often charged to cost units on estimated basis. These are the features of overhead. Then we discuss about overhead accounting. We know overhead is indirect in character. Every rupee spent as overhead should find a place in the total cost of the product. Overhead accounting is the system followed for linking overhead expenses to the cost of finished product. Following are the steps involved in overhead accounting. First step, classification of overheads. Second step, codification and collection of overhead. Third step, allocation and apportionment of overhead. Fourth step, reapportionment of overheads. And the fifth step in overhead accounting is absorption of overheads. Then we discuss about the first step, classification of overheads. Classification of overhead is the process of grouping overheads according to their common characteristics. Overheads are classified on the basis of elements, then on the basis of function, and then on the basis of behavior. Firstly, element-wise classification. We know indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses come under element-wise classification of overheads. Then, second classification on the basis of function-wise. We know production or factory overhead, administration overhead, selling overhead, and distribution overhead come under function-wise classification of overheads. And the third classification of overhead is behavior-wise. Fixed overhead, variable overhead, and semi-variable overhead come under behavior-wise classification. Then second step in the overhead accounting is codification and collection of overheads. After classification of overheads, separate account headings are used for collecting factory overhead, administration overhead, and selling and distribution overhead. These account headings are given code numbers for easy identification. The process of allocation of code numbers to various account headings is called codification of overheads. I repeat, the process of allocation of code numbers to various account headings is called codification of overheads. The code numbers assigned to factory overhead are known as standing order numbers, and the code numbers given to administration, selling, and distribution overheads are known as cost account numbers. The process of collecting overhead expenses under suitable headings, here standing order numbers or cost account numbers, is known as collection of overheads. I repeat, the process of collecting overhead expenses under suitable headings, here standing order numbers or cost account numbers, is known as collection of overheads. Then third stage is allocation and apportionment of overheads. Third step in overhead accounting is allocation and apportionment of overheads. This stage is also known as departmentalization of overheads. We know there are two types of departments in an organization: production departments and service departments. Departmentalization of overhead refers to the distribution of overheads to production and service departments. Departmentalization is done through allocation and apportionment. Allocation of overheads. Allocation refers to the process of charging all amount of overhead item to a particular department or cost center. When an item of overhead incurred in full in respect of a particular cost center or department, it can fully charge it to that department. Allocation becomes possible only when the overhead can be identified with a particular department. We know wages of foreman, we can identify it with a particular department. Depreciation of plant and machinery, we can identify it with a particular department, so we can allocate wages of foreman, depreciation of plant and machinery, etc. to particular department or cost center. Then apportionment of overheads. Apportionment is the process of charging an overhead to several departments on suitable basis. When an item of overhead cannot be identified with a particular department, it is distributed among several departments on a suitable basis. Apportionment is done when allocation is not possible. We know in case of rent and rates, managerial salary, repair and maintenance, insurance, these like expenses incurred for so many departments, so we cannot identify these expenses with any particular department, so we apportion these expenses, these overheads among different departments. Then when we come to the distribution of overheads, distribution of overhead is done in two stages, primary distribution and secondary distribution. Our departmentalization of overhead is also referred to as primary distribution. Then we discuss primary distribution in detail. We know primary distribution refers to the process of distribution of overhead expenses to all departments, both production as well as service departments. Some expenses may be allocated while other expenses may be apportioned. Apportionment of expenses, we can done it on an equitable basis. Here we mention about some of the overhead expenses and its basis of apportionment. In case of depreciation of assets, repair and maintenance of assets, insurance of assets, its basis of apportionment is asset value. We distribute this depreciation, repair and maintenance, insurance, etc. of assets, different departments on the basis of asset value of these departments. Then in case of lighting, its basis of apportionment is number of light points or floor area. Then power, its basis of apportionment is horsepower of machine or value of plant. Then rent and rates, we apportion it on the basis of floor area. Then repair and maintenance of building, its basis of apportionment also is floor area. Then canteen expenses, then welfare expenses, then time keeping expenses, all these related to employees. So its basis of apportionment is number of employees or direct wages. Then employees contribution to provident fund, ESI, etc. All these are related to employees. So its basis of apportionment is direct wage or number of employees. Then in case of supervision charge, we supervise employees, so its basis of apportionment is number of employees of different departments. Then heating and air conditioning, that depends on floor area, so its basis of apportionment is floor area. Then metal handling or storekeeping, its basis of apportionment is number of material requisitions or value of materials requisition. Then general overhead, we apportion general overhead on the basis of labor hours or direct wages. Then internal transport or steam and water, we apportion these overhead on the basis of technical estimate. Then inspection, we apportion it on the basis of number of jobs inspected. These are about certain overhead items and its basis of distribution. Then we show how can we do this primary distribution with the support of an illustration. Our question is this: the modern company is divided into 4 departments. A, B and C are producing departments and D is a service department. The actual costs for the period are as follows: rent rupees 1000, supervision rupees 1500, depreciation of plant rupees 450, light rupees 120, repairs to plant rupees 600, fire insurance in respect of stock rupees 500, then power rupees 900, employer's liability for insurance rupees 150. The following information is available in respect of the four departments. Department A, B, C and D. Area square meters 1500, 1100, 900 and 500 for department A, B, C and D. The number of employees 20, 15, 10 and 5 for A, B, C and D departments. Then total wage rupees for A 6,000, for department B 4,000, for department C 3,000 and for department D 2,000. Then value of plant in rupees, department A 24,000, department B 18,000, department C 12,000, then department D 6,000. Then value of stock, department A 15,000, department B 9,000, department C 6,000 and then for department D no value of stock. It's a service department. HP of plant, department A 24, department B 18, department C 12 and then department D 6. Apportion the cost to various departments on the most equitable basis. Then this is what our question. What we are going to do is to apportion this rent, supervision, depreciation of plant, light, repair to plant, fire insurance, power and employer's liability to different departments on an equitable basis. Our first item is rent. Its basis of apportionment is area. Then second item supervision. Its basis of apportionment is number of employees. Third item depreciation of plant. Its basis of apportionment is value of plant. Then next item light. Its basis of apportionment is our area. Then repairs to plant. Its basis of apportionment is value of plant. Then fire insurance in respect of stock. Its basis of apportionment is value of stock. Then employer's liability in respect of insurance is basis of apportionment is number of employees. Then here we are preparing one overhead distribution summary. In our first column we write all these overhead expenses: rent, supervision, depreciation, light, repairs, fire insurance, power and employees liability. We firstly write in our first column all these overhead expenses. Then in our second column we have to write our basis of apportionment. Our first item is rent. Its basis of apportionment is area 1,500, 1,100, 900 and 500. So we take 15, 11, 9 and 5. Basis of apportionment 15, 11, 9 and 5. Then second item repair to plant. Its basis of apportionment is our plant value. Plant value already given 24,000, 18,000, 12,000 and 6,000. All these we can divide by 6,000. Then we get 4, 3, 2 and 1. These figures we used here. Then depreciation of plant. Its basis of apportionment is plant value. Plant value. Value of plant 24,000, 18,000, 12,000, 6,000. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Then employer's liability for insurance is the basis of apportionment is number of employees. Number of employees 20, 15, 10 and 5. All these figures divided by 5. Then we get 4, 3, 2 and 1. That's our basis of apportionment. Then supervision. Supervision basis of apportionment is number of employees. Number of employees we divide all these by 5. We get 4, 3, 2 and 1. We already seen it. Then fire insurance in respect of stock. Its the base of apportionment is our stock value. We have stock value 15, 9, 15,000, 9,000, 6,000 and 0. Then 15, 9, 6, 15, 9, 15, 9, 6. Then power is the base of apportionment is HP of plant 24, 18, 12 and 6. All we can divide by 6. Then we get 4, 3, 2 and 1. Then light, its base of apportionment is area 15, 11, 9 and 5. Then our total amount, rent 1000, we divided it in the ratio 15, 11, 9 and 5. Then we get 375, 275, 225 and 125. Then planned value, overhead total 600, we divide it in the ratio 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we get 240, 180, 120 and 60. Then depreciation, total overhead amount of 450, that divided in the ratio 4:3:2:1. Then we get 180, 135, 90 and 45. Then employers liability for insurance, total overhead 150 divided in the ratio 4:3:2:1, 60, 45, 30 and 15. Then supervision, number of employees, amount of 1500 divided in the ratio 4:3:2:1. Then we get 600, 450, 300 and 150. Then fire insurance, total amount of 500 divided in the ratio of 15:9:6:0. Then we get 250, 150, 100 and then last column 0. Then power amount 900 divided in the ratio 4:3:2:1. Then we get 360, 270, 180 and then 90. Then light 120, its amount that divided in the ratio 15:11:9:5. Then we get 45, 33, 27 and then 15. Then we have to take our 1D. We have to consider, we have to take the total wage of our service department in the service department column. The reason is this: after this primary distribution we have to do secondary distribution. At the time of secondary distribution we have to distribute the total expenses including this direct wage of service department among different production departments. So we consider the total wage of our service department as an overhead item. Then after allocating, after distribution of all these items, our production department overhead total comes to 2110. Then for B that comes to 1538, and for C that comes to 1072, and then for C 2500. That 2500 included this total wage. We directly allocated that total wage to the service department column. We take these direct expenses only in case of service department. We will not take these direct expenses in the columns of production departments. The reason is this: at last, after this primary distribution, we have to distribute the service department overheads among the production departments, because service departments give service to the production departments. So that is all about our overhead distribution, primary distribution. I think this session is clear for all of you. We will meet again. Till then, goodbye.